Hello everyone and welcome back to Bluegrass Dreams of Seams. My name is Cheryl and as you can see I got this dress finished. I did finish it late Saturday so I could wear it on Sunday. So I got this finished. I've told you a few things that I would like to do. Definitely I'm going to make it again. I do love it that much. But I think where this inset is, this kind of neck detail they have here, I would like to do lace insertion and pin tucks. So definitely that's going to be coming next year. One thing I do know I need to change on this eventually is to take the skirt off and take out about an inch seam more out right here. That would give me about 4 more inches to play with for this upper tier. I would regather my skirt, I'd have 2 extra inches in the front, 2 extra inches in the back, and I think it'll make it look a little more gathered to me than it does now. That's my biggest gripe about this is I felt like, oh wow, this is going to be nice, and I gathered it all up, and then you don't really get to have that much gathering like you see on the pattern envelope, which I'm going to insert right here. Now, what I hope to get from that is, would I be happy with adding just 2 inches to the second and third tier per panel? The second and third tier have 3 panels cut on the fold. That would give me 6 extra inches on both of those panels, which I'm having a feeling will probably be enough, but they are longer. So I might want to add an extra inch, which means I want to do 3 inches on those. So I might do 9 more inches to the second and third tier. So we'll just have to see how that turns out for me, but I should get enough information from just modifying this to know what to do to the other two when I make my second version next year. First, I want to say thank you to Mary. She asked me the pattern for the dress is, and I quickly told her, and I do apologize. I did not put that in my description box, and I didn't even mention it. I must have been really kind of off my game last week, but it is posted now and it was corrected immediately. And if you look down through the comments, you could also see her question where I answered it and get it there as well. Now let's talk about this week's garment. This is a top I've been wanting to make for a while and just haven't done it. Also had this fabric about 2 or 3 years now and just haven't done anything with it. So I decided to cut this particular top, but I made a few changes. And I'm going to pop the pattern right here. I did, for the most part, use the one with the bigger yoke part. So you're going to kind of see that now, where it's not the small, narrow one, it's the bigger one. But you notice that on the bigger one, on the pattern, they have like a little V that's cut out right here. Well, after I did all this, I certainly didn't want to interrupt it with anything else, so I opted not to do that. This is about a 1/2 inch wide tuck that I did 20 of these across a square of fabric, and then I cut this pattern piece out. I did want it to kind of look like it had a wave going to it, and if I get this in the right light, you can kind of see it. So there's that. And the way you do that is, first I sewed with the tucks, the direction the tucks were pressed in. And then as I did the ones that needed to be pulled in the opposite direction, I just pulled them down my finger as I got to them so that the presser foot would just slide right across them and stitch those flat. What I'm worried about now is what's going to happen when I launder it. Because this definitely will probably need to be steamed or something, but it can't be pressed because otherwise it gets flat, which you can kind of tell these are flattened out because I pressed too close and got those flat on the shoulders. So they're not standing up now like these are. But if you have an answer to that, would you please let me know in the comments below, because I really don't want to see flat tucks here. I would love to see them like they are now. That's what makes it so pretty. So I didn't do the facings either. I don't have the back yoke facing. I didn't do a facing on this either. I just left those off. I did stitch the seams. Shoulder seams are down, and I stitched this seam down here as well. I was going to do the same treatment on the lower edge of the sleeves, and when I got it finished and sewn on there, Hadn't done the underarm seam or the side seam, I realized that's too heavy. And I whacked it off. I took my scissors, I just cut it right off. Didn't hesitate to edit this. It needed to be edited. And that's one of the things you kind of learn when you go around, when you start experimenting and I want to try this idea and you try it and you really like it in one place, but in another place you just realize that's the wrong thing to do and you just take it off. And so I just put a really simple bias cut piece of fabric and sewed that on there. That's just a temporary fix. I'm going to actually change it a little later, but not right now. So this is this week's garment. So what's next? Well, as you can see, it's already been cut out. Well, it's not cut out. The pattern pieces are ready. I'm going to use this Marcy Tilton pattern, as you see right here, to do something I've been wanting to do all summer that I saw last spring on Jenny's Big Sew Along channel. I watch her faithfully every week, and I just decided, I'm going to try that. I have a t-shirt with a graphic on it I love, but because of this bleach got on the shirt, I stopped wearing it, but I saved it thinking, oh, one day somebody will do something and I'll be able to save my graphic. And it's one of those life is good t-shirts, and I very rarely ever find one that I really, really like. So I found 3 other fabrics to use. So if I count the t-shirt as one and the other 3, I have 4 fabrics to incorporate to make this jumper style dress. So that's what's up for next week, and I look forward to sharing that with you next week. Happy sewing, everybody.